VA's podcast, where we talk all things art, culture, and entertainment, but more specifically pop culture entertainment with me. I'm not alone, thank God. We have to, we got to handle the intro rather expeditiously as one of our buddies here today, one of our returning co-hosts, actually has to leave, unfortunately, because he has a life, unlike me. So with us today, we have Luke A., the VA.
Oh, yeah, hey. I got confused for a second. Talking about the other one.
We have the return of
What's
Ron,
good?
the real.
I'm alive. Welcome. It's been a minute, you guys. This is great.
It's been more than a minute. And rounding us out this evening, we have the wonderful Marvel Luke.
I really, really miss you guys. And I mean, I also mean the audience. But I really miss podcasting. I really do. I miss it so much.
I do too. I literally had to put a time setting in my schedule for be like record podcast at this time on these days, and I'm just like, okay, so that I can get back into the habit of it, because it's just been so just with work and life and everything, and actually having a life for once. It's been very busy. But how have y'all been? We haven't talked in a hot minute. How have you been?
Well, let's see. It's summertime. There's a record heat wave. Biden is now president. And we are pulling out of Afghanistan. Oh, and Bill Cosby got out of prison today. Yay!
Yeah.
Oh, shit. On the last day of Pride, too. Boy, what a horrible gift. Happy Pride.
However, the universe did kind of balance itself out because Donald Rumsfeld died today. And if you don't know who that is, he was the Secretary of State under Bush, who was responsible for the illegal Iraq and Afghanistan wars. Basically, he was a neocon warmonger, and he died on the same day that Bill Cosby was released from prison. So I feel like the universe had to kind of balance something out there a little bit.
Yeah, that seems about right. I guess can't be happy for too long. Can't be
I don't know if balance is the right word, but sure, a soul for a soul, I suppose.
A soul for a soul.
Soul for a soul.
But
I'll have Bill Cosby. No, you will not. You will take Donald Rumsfeld. Okay. Fair trade.
Fine.
Fine.
For now.
Good enough.
Thanks, Cosmos.
Bill's time will come. We'll get into some Cosmos shit. But how have y'all been before we get into the meaty topics?
I've been good. I haven't talked to you guys in some time. We have a group chat for the listeners, and I recently deactivated all my social medias, so I have no idea how these boys have been at all. But to answer your question, I'm good, man. It's been an interesting life, not having social media to kind of rely on, finding new hobbies, personal training.
Right.
Just started working again. So
that's good, man. It sounds like you're getting back in the swing.
I'm getting back in the swing of things, I'm
happy.
I've dabbled in Rocket League for the first time in like 3 or 4 months. So yeah, life's good. Watching a great show about the God of Mischief. That I have no idea how you guys feel about, so I'm very curious to talk about it with you guys today.
We'll get into it.
I'm curious how some of us feel about that too.
Oh, wait, does not everyone here? Are we not on the same page on this one?
No, I'm just curious how one person in particular feels about it.
Ooh, okay, I'm excited.
Luke A., how you doing, man?
Me?
Yeah, how you doing?
Yeah.
Friend?
I'm doing good. I'm actually gonna be moving really soon, so we're getting ready for that. I'm excited about that. Heading up to we're heading out of the South, boys, and we're going up to Colorado, where I had never seen so many Biden flags in my life. It was kind of shocking.
What part of Colorado?
We're gonna be up in Boulder.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
So are you moving with like your whole family, or just you and a couple people?
I'm gonna be going up with my brother. We're gonna be heading up there. We're just gonna hanging up there. He's going to school. He asked me if I'd want to come, probably because he saw how much money I was going to be getting by September as I'm done teaching, and you get a couple of things with you whenever you leave. So he's probably...
That's good, man. You know, I feel like it's going to be a really good change of pace for you.
I think so, too. I'm excited for sure.
Yeah.
I'm looking into just kind of change stuff up. I'm thinking this year I'm going to try to take voice acting a lot more seriously, just really try to get the ball rolling. I've been doing this for about 2 years, and part of me feels like I'm not making a lot of headway. So I think this will be the year where I really, jumpstart, like really start taking it seriously, really start trying to make it something that I can make a career out of, Other than that, been watching a lot more shows. I finished Hannibal recently, which was very good. I'm surprised I didn't watch it when it was first coming out.
What did you think of the third season?
Mm-hmm.
I understand why it was. I understand why it was formatted the way it was. I really wish that they didn't get canceled.
Yeah, well,
I don't think I finished it. I think I've only watched the first season, but it was really good what I watched.
Right.
I still need to watch it.
What they do later on, I think, is really cool because they adapt a few things. They even do Hannibal, the elements of Hannibal.
The movie.
Right, the movie. Yeah.
Is it in this is it connected to the original movie?
It's kind of like a reimagining of that whole universe.
Okay.
That's what I thought.
So it's like
it was.
things kind of happen out of order, or like they recontextualize some stuff. Like there are some things that happen from like Red Dragon that get reinterpreted, which I think in a really cool way. I think.
Is it closer to the book?
Yes and no. Characters are very close, I think, to the book. Will Graham is, I think, a lot closer to his book than like either movie. Even though I really do like the first Red Dragon movie. I can't remember what it was called though.
I think the movie has the I think the show has the best Will Graham.
I
don't feel like Ed Norton really captured like the ultra empathy aspect of the character.
Yeah. I can't remember the other fucking movie. The other Red Dragon movie.
Manhunter?
Damn it. Anyway, point is, yes, Manhunter. That's what it was. Even though I really like that movie, I think you're right. This is the best Will Graham. Also, just to kind of not take up too much time, so I watched Hannibal. Been watching Loki as well. Been getting back into comic book stuff because I fell off a little bit ago. Because I just kind of stopped caring, and I'm just getting back into it. And I've been playing because I now have the free time. I've been playing a hell of a lot of Guilty Gear Strive. I'm really glad to be playing fighting games again because I love them, and I didn't really have the chance to practice them. And I really fucking love Guilty Gear, so the fact that Strive came out and it's as good as it is, I'm really digging that.
Awesome.
I'm glad
I've never played those games, but it sounds like you're having fun with it.
Oh, they're awesome. They're great.
Amazing. See, I played Blade Blue, so I have a little bit of an idea.
Yeah, well, there you go. Same people, so more or less.
Yeah, same people. Arxis. Quantum Luke, how have you been before we hop into these hot topics?
I've been tired. I've been tired for a while. No, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Just to kind of catch up. I mean, outside of all the the craziness I've been dealing with, some personal issues, some family stuff. I too have also been trying to get back and sort of recapture my passion for things that I love. Like, for example, other Luke just mentioned comic books. That's something I've been kind of getting back into. I had stopped reading comics for a long time because honestly, I got kind of bored with it. And the reason I think I got bored with it is because I was tired of the comics getting really convoluted and catering to certain things. Like, for example, they were just obsessed for some reason with making everything like the MCU for a while, and that was really getting on my nerves. So I fell out of comics, but yeah, I've kind of started reading comics. I've actually been going back and reading some really good stuff, like some older stuff, like Why the Last Man. I've been rereading that. And it's oh my god, it's so good. I forgot how great that graphic novel series is. It's really good. I've started dipping my toes into Invincible a little bit here and there, but I'm hesitant because I really don't want to spoil the show because I watched the show before reading the comics. So Yeah.
What
and
It's a ride.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
what
you
I've been
finished
told
it.
is that
No, continue, Luke's.
Yeah.
well, I mean, what I was
finished
gonna
it
say is
in
that
about 3 days.
Oh wow.
Sorry, say what?
wait, how long is it?
You finished it in 3 days.
The show.
Oh, the show's 8 episodes.
100. Yeah. Show's 8 episodes. The
And the
comic
comic
is,
is-
I think, 124 issues.
Okay.
Damn. Okay.
Okay.
So now that you finished it, how many
Isn't
seasons
it
do you
a-
think it's gonna
I
be?
just like at least 5,
At
unless
least
they like
5.
compact a lot of shit.
5.
Well,
Like,
I would assume that there's things that
like-
they're going to have to kind of graze over, for the show.
So, here's what I'll say: the Rogues Gallery that they tease at the end of the season is still missing a good chunk of a couple people, and there's a really big one that they didn't do that's like actually pretty early in the comics and shows up a lot.
Okay.
And it sets up a lot of other shit that's coming. So the fact that they haven't even included that character, I'm just like, Jesus Christ. Like,
Yeah.
From what
I hope they don't cut him because it sets up a really interesting like plot.
well, I mean, from what I had read, the guy that wrote it, Kirkman, right?
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
guy that wrote it,
your
apparently
boy
he's writing the show, isn't he?
I thought,
I think he's-
Seth,
he's
well,
EP,
I know
and
Seth
think he's a
Rogen and
showrunner.
Evan Goldberg were also writing as well.
Okay, because I remember
Yeah,
reading
they're,
that
they're
like
also EPs along with Kirkman.
I remember the reading that the show is basically like he explained it as like this is like my second draft at Invincible.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and if you've read the original, it shows like this isn't a spoiler, but like William comes out as gay throughout the run. He doesn't just start that way.
Okay.
Okay.
Amber being black instead of white.
She's
Mark being
Oh
half
yeah,
Asian.
that's right.
Yeah, she's like white. Like there's a
That's
lot of
right,
characters.
yeah.
That,
I got,
a couple,
dude,
like,
I
race
didn't
and
realize
gender
how.
swaps, but it's
I didn't realize that. Huh.
yeah, but it's like it's not really an issue. It's interesting in terms of like Amber gets interesting character development that a lot of people hate her for, but I like it because it makes sense.
Really?
Okay.
You think they'll take it that direction in the show?
Like well, so where Amber goes in the comics I'm curious if they're gonna do she has a storyline, so I am curious to see if they do it. It'll be interesting because it'll parallel something that happens to Mark way the fuck down, and if they have the balls to do this, like it's a really significant thing that affects him for like through the end of the book. I'm like, you might get some awards for it because it's something that isn't discussed a lot,
Really?
like, socially. And this is
And
kind
is
of
it something that
implied-
happens a lot in comic book properties, or is it something that other things are too afraid to touch?
all I'll say is not to men.
Yeah, I heard about this. I know what you're talking about.
Yes. Yeah.
But
yeah.
I'm mad because I got it spoiled for me in the thumbnail.
It's a way.
I don't know how it happens.
Like I think I remember the exact. There's a lot of context to it, but it's like it happens in like volume 20. It's far the fuck off.
Okay.
But do you know what we're talking
So,
about?
anyways, I'm doing good.
It's far away.
Do either of you guys feel spoiled?
Because the only reason I know is like. I'm not gonna mention it, but
Okay.
I have to take a look at that. But anyways, let's get into some actual topics before we wind up harping on Invincible.
Yeah.
Let's start with the Marvel stuff first. Let's talk about Loki.
Okay.
And then maybe some Shang-Chi and some other shit. So Loki's been airing. Episode 4, as we're recording this, episode 4 just came out today. And I feel like we're all of interesting opinions on it, so we can kind of, go around. We'll do this full spoilers. So far, I think what Loki sets up is more interesting than the actual show. Like the TVA and moving across, multiverses is interesting. The introduction of Sylvie. The end of episode 4, I think, is really like episode 3 kind of felt like filler. Episode 1 was because here's my thing. I've always had my issue is that I'm not a big Loki fan, so the show really has to work hard for me to kind of care about him. And honestly, I kind of care more about everyone else. But like, don't get me wrong, Tom Hiddleston's doing a great job in terms of like acting, the characterization, the writing is mostly solid. Episode 3 episode 3 was used more for character development, but as a result, it kind of feels like filler on an already very short show. But like 4, I think, does a better job in terms of moving the story forward than 3 does, because it builds off the setup of 3 and like him and Loki falling in love with himself. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense that he'd be a fucking narcissist. But the end of 4 is really cool, I think. So it's pulling a lot from the Loki comics, evidently, which I think is very interesting. We get like a Loki dial.
A Loki dial? That's something from the comics?
And there's something. Oh, evidently not, but the other ones were.
Black Loki's.
I don't know. It might be. I didn't read Loki's book. I don't know. Maybe. Infinite universe of Lokis that they like teased earlier in the season.
And only one of them is black. Imagine that.
I am disappointed though. I didn't realize the timekeepers were separate characters. I thought they were set. I'm sorry about that, Luke. I thought it was setting up the not the one above all.
The Living Tribunal.
Fuck. Yeah, I thought it was Living Tribunal because 3 Faces controls the multiverse. You would think it's the Tribunals, but evidently there are characters called the Timekeepers. I'm like, son of a bitch.
I was kind of waiting for a lot of people to get disappointed by that.
Because I'm like, Tribunal would have been sick. To be
honest with you, I had kind of like halfway expected the Timekeepers to not be real. I was thinking like, man, this has got to be.
I thought it was going to be a bunch of Lokis.
I just thought maybe like this was going to be a red herring, and there's going to be some ultimate power other than them behind it. And then I kind of thought like during episode 4 when they showed them, I was like, oh fuck, they are actually real. And then as the episode kept progressing, I kind of started to think like, oh wait, no, this is something's off here about these guys. And then like during the climax. So I'll like say this before going really like too heavy into spoilers. I was watching it with my friend earlier, and we watched it all the way through, and the credits start playing, and he looks at me and he's like, I don't think I want to finish the show. And I was like, what? Like we had been enjoying the show so much, and he's like, yeah, there's too many twists. I was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, dude, this is like classic. I was like, this is like classic Marvel. And then he's like, yeah, I don't know. He's like, there's just something about like, I think they're going to drop the ball by the end of the series. And I was like, you really think so? And then the post-credit scene comes, and he sees the post-credit scene. He gets up off the couch, and he's like, yeah, I don't think he's like, I'm done with the show. I was like, are you serious? You didn't like that ending? And he's like,
wait, what?
He's like, nah. He's like that character. Or he's like the character designs on those other, whatever they're supposed to be. He's like, that was terrible. He's like, that was CW. I was like, okay.
Wow.
Okay. That's how they look in the comics.
He's literally, he literally is convinced now after watching. I thought that this was the best episode yet. My friend was like, no, this is where they start dropping the ball. This is where the show starts getting bad. So my friend is jumping off.
Okay.
He's jumping off the ship right now.
Yeah, I'd say, I don't know, dude. Which one?
To be honest with you, I kind of wanted the Timekeepers to be real.
This is the best, I think. Say what?
I wanted the Timekeepers to be real. I really did. And to be honest with you,
I think
to be honest with you, I still think they could still be real. I just don't think it. I don't think whatever the TVA is. I don't think that this is them. You know what I mean? We could still see.
I'm inclined to agree with you.
We could still see the real them by the end of the series, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Aaron
here's the
Luke,
thing. It could be. There's a few. There's a few key things or a few people that might be behind it. One, I mean, naturally, it would probably be the time twisters would be behind the TVA. They could be. Yeah. Because they're sort of like the opposite to the Timekeepers. They're also entities of 3 who try to tangle time rather than untangle, like the timekeepers do actually try to keep order, as to where the time twisters try to twist the timelines in the multiverse. So really, I mean, it really could be the time twisters. It could be a character called the time broker, who is also a bit of a time twister. Completely different entity though. There's a really good theory going around that it could actually be Miss Minute. And the reason I think people are thinking it's Miss Minute is because they make a very heavy point to show her in the beginning and then nothing.
No, it's that one dude who didn't know what fish were. He's the mastermind.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so
that joke,
I think it actually could be Miss Minute. Whatever Miss Minute is, I think that actually I'm starting to lean towards that idea.
A hard light construct.
Yeah.
So yeah, Luke and Aaron, what are y'all's thoughts?
Aaron, why don't you go first?
Shit. He hates it.
I don't hate it. No, don't say that.
At least you're not like my friend, because my friend was just like, yeah, they're dropping the ball. He's like, I can tell now that this is gonna have a shit ending, and he just gets up and leaves.
Dude,
see ya.
You go first, Aaron, and I'll.
All right. Well, I personally have been.
Yeah, Aaron, you go.
I've personally been really enjoying Loki. I thought the first 2 episodes were great. You know, obviously, the third episode, while not as good or as in engaging within the mystery, I still enjoyed it for what it was. You know, we got to see Sylvie and Loki bond, and I feel like that was really important for the show to establish someone that Loki cares about, and dedicating an entire hour, 40 minutes to that, I felt will really serve them well towards the finale of the show. Because you went from not knowing her at all to now having a whole episode dedicated to her. Did we learn a lot about her in that episode? Not really, but I still felt like with Tom Hiddleston, he's enough to make something interesting. And also that end fight scene was really impressive, I will say. Yeah, it's like Loki took an episode to like pause the event of the show and become Doctor Who for a second, and you know I didn't hate it.
Yeah,
but
it's been feeling like Doctor Who.
Somebody said that this was definitely some of the best. Like, this episode was one of the better, I guess, formats. Or I guess this episode was some of the best material Marvel has produced in a long time. And they kind of made the point that, like, Marvel should really invest a lot of their money in storytelling into TV rather than big budget movies, because these shows, or I should say, these stories and these characters would be better served as a TV show or a bunch of series of television shows rather than being blockbuster films every time. And I think that my other friend made the point anyways that is probably the better format. I don't know what you guys think. That's kind of an interesting idea.
The shows versus the movies?
Yeah, basically, like, moving,
it allows for
like, moving forward, I
character
guess, is like, you know, if they wanted to tell a personalized story about, you know, Spider-Man or just any ex-Marvel character, you name it. It can be anybody, would probably be better suited as a television series rather than a blockbuster movie.
I'm really worried about the movie aspect of it.
It depends on the character, I think.
You hear me?
Because, like, well, yeah, like, I don't know if Loki, like, I feel like this, Loki could have actually worked as a movie, but I like it more as a show.
I actually am inclined to agree.
It probably would have worked pretty well as a movie, but I like it in the format of a show a lot.
No, I love it as a show as well. I think it really works. I don't know if we would have gotten as much character development with it not being a series, even though it is
a show.
Even if it is a little weird that this is a week after Avengers, and like, yeah, it still feels like Loki, but it feels like later Loki. You know, this doesn't feel like This doesn't feel like the same Loki who was in after Avengers,
the original
not
Avengers.
Original Avengers or Thor: The Dark World. This feels like Ragnarok Loki.
Yeah,
or close to it anyway.
Which I mean, with the character development, he experiences character development at kind of like a vast, like, same point, different pace. So I think that's what's interesting, because for getting a Ragnarok Loki, you know, that's a long time.
Right.
That's like years. For this one, he's essentially going through like years of character development over the course of however long this is taking place.
Seems like a couple of days, really, that this is taking place. But
Yeah.
What I'm really,
which like watching yourself die would probably do that.
Yeah, that's true.
I think what gets me the most is that like the biggest twist in this episode, I think, wasn't the timekeepers. I think it was, we thought that when they got hit with the stick thing that they were erased from existence, but it turns out I think they're just taken somewhere else.
Yeah.
That like I had kind of suspected that, but like I don't know how I feel about that, and I think that was one of the things that really bothered my friend. I think that he actually thought that was a bit of it was a bit of a
really die.
I think my friend thought that was a bit of a cop out, and I kind of agree with him a little bit. Like there was a little misleading. I think it was unnecessarily misleading.
No, I mean not necessarily, because they never specified what it was.
I mean, we still don't have.
All you saw, you made the assumption.
Yeah, I guess, but
you made the assumption that it killed them, but they never specifically stated.
We make the assumption,
right?
If I had to guess, they send you to some displaced pocket dimension or universe or some destroyed universe or something. Like that's.
But that's a lot of variants.
Yeah. Well, it's like one of those things. It's like
aren't just Loki.
That begs the argument of like, why don't they just kill them then? Because that's what they had us think. That's what they were implying in the beginning. That like when they hit them with the stick thing, either killing them, they're erasing them. Why don't they actually just do that? Why are they just sending the variants somewhere else? Like, what purpose could you have for doing that?
Maybe you can't actually kill a variant.
Which I guess replacing the members of the TVA that. Replacing the members of the TVA, they might die in the field because they can actually die. We saw some get burned to death in the first episode.
Yeah.
Luke, what were your thoughts though? Aaron, did you speak your piece?
I have not. I'll try to keep it brief. All right, so I'll say right off the bat, I like this more than WandaVision.
Me too.
WandaVision, I think, started off really strong, and
I feel like if WandaVision
I think that it ended.
No, continue. I'll say my shit after.
Well, I mean, I think
go ahead.
I can maybe I can see where you're going, but like I think it started strong, but I think it kind of ended weak because I don't think it really stuck with the concept. Like it gave up almost. And I didn't really like.
What exactly do you think it gave up on?
I think it gave up on the actual concept of like the TV show idea of like exploring Wanda's character through like different TV shows. Because like the thing is, the show was sold on that concept, and after the first 3 episodes, that's not really super important to how the story's told anymore. Like it kind of becomes a traditional Marvel movie format after that.
Gotcha. Yeah, it kind of does start going back to the.
I feel like my problem is they didn't commit to it. They didn't commit to the idea they introduced that Wanda's the villain of the scenario. They kind of backpedal. Like we want to tease her bad, but we don't want to take her there all the way. And who knows? Maybe
like she's still responsible.
She's not really. She's more of an anti-hero than a villain.
Right,
she's
but
definitely
like
the
she's still
antagonist
somewhat
of that
responsible.
Story,
but
very duplicitous.
She should be the antagonist of that story.
Yeah,
but they created Agatha in that twist, so she has something.
Agatha really didn't do anything wrong. Agatha, to be honest with you, I think that Agatha was justified in trying to take Wanda's power, albeit. Even though it was selfish of her because she wanted the power for herself, it was probably a bad thing for Wanda to have that power to begin with. So, like, I think that what Agatha was thinking is, like, I'm doing the world a favor, but I'm also gaining personally from this.
So
like, I really don't see Agatha as being, like, the villain there.
Yeah, I don't want to harp too long on it, but, like,
Luke,
there's problems.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Anyway, I like it better than WandaVision. I think Captain Winter Soldier is probably the best one so far. Falcon and Winter Soldier. He wasn't Cap yet, but I think that was honestly the best one. Just like
I think I'm liking Loki.
He's Captain America now. Yeah, you're right. Okay, and I can understand that honestly, because like I'll say this too. I like Loki. I'm not in love with it, and I think it's because as I'm kind of watching it, I'm totally fine with like slow shows.
Episode 3
it's
was
like
really boring.
because like here's the thing, they're all like 30 minutes, like half-hour shows. Normally I would be totally fine with that. I don't feel like a lot is getting done in the span of 4 episodes.
I think
there's like big.
I think you're right.
I kind of see.
Like big revelations
I think you're right,
happen
man, because there's only 2 episodes left.
Are there really?
Yeah. It's only a 6. It's only 6 episode series. So it's like what all can they do in 6 episodes? That and you're right. We're on the 4th episode now, and up until this point,
about an hour and
not
a
a
half
lot, not a terrible amount has happened.
Okay,
and so I think,
So here then is my main problem then, now that I know it's only 6 episodes. The Netflix stuff I really started not liking because they were like too long, I thought.
Yeah.
This almost feels like it's not long enough.
Yeah,
right.
Like,
eight's
I'm
the
how-
sweet spot.
yeah, how-
I think so too.
Yeah, 8 to 10.
Because like
really, I think is the
with what they're doing with Loki, they have a lot of potential to show a lot of cool stuff and to do a lot of cool stuff narratively. And so far, I have episode 4, was good, and they did do there was some narrative progression there. But like the other 3 episodes, really like there just wasn't enough going on, I don't think. And like why did you have like the beginning was so slow, and then boom, big build or big explosion in episode 4, and then who knows what the next 2 episodes are going to look like. Is it going to be as jam-packed as episode 4, or is episode 5 going to slow back down again and then have another big explosion of just a bunch of shit happening in episode 6? I don't know. And that's, I think, the issue.
Right.
I think that's the issue.
And that comes down to my main thing, because again, I didn't know it was 6 episodes.
Yeah.
Should be at least 10, I'm thinking. 10 would be a good...
Let me just say real quick, because there's one thing... There was one thing that was in my head that like Luke kind of mentioned, other Luke, with his friend, right? Because I don't hate it.
Right.
This feels like the closest to a CW show that Marvel's ever gotten.
Really?
Yeah.
I think
in terms
so.
of production, or in what way?
Sort of like production. Also, I just think the story is like very small scale for what it's kind of dealing with. Like, we're talking about like alternate versions of characters and like a fucking force that like tries to keep that in check.
A cosmic
and
force.
I haven't really seen anything that really, I think, takes full advantage of that concept.
I think that's one of my issues,
Aside
is that
from,
Marvel
like,
really, aside from like, well, I was going to say Marvel has really yet to impress me, and I've really yet to see a proper Marvel Cosmic. I don't think that they know how to do Marvel Cosmic very well, which sucks, because I feel like the cosmic side of Marvel has always been Marvel's strong suit when it comes to storytelling and science fiction.
Yeah.
And for Marvel Studios, it's just not quite hitting right for me, and I don't know why. Yeah. It's just not hitting right, because I think a lot of it is too small scale for what it should actually be. Captain Marvel was a big letdown for me. There was a lot of potential there to do some really great cosmic stuff. The closest they've gotten so far, I think, was the Guardians movies. But even those films kind of fail to do Marvel Cosmic proper. I have a feeling that the Eternals is also going to let me down in that respect, even though we're dealing with more Marvel Cosmic stuff. I just don't think that they know how to do it right, and that's really upsetting.
You know what I think it is? I think it's because
Loki has the potential to do Marvel Cosmic right, and this is the best example of the scenarios that they're in and the narrative that they're trying to tell. Within all like the timekeepers and the TVA, there's multiverses, there's all this stuff going on cosmically. I feel like it should be on a bigger scale. More things should be happening. Bigger set pieces. More cosmic characters being involved. We're just not seeing that.
So do you guys?
So far, we haven't seen any
showcase for the cosmic rather than a Loki series.
That's what I thought it was going to be. That's what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
well, I mean, I don't even think that. Like, I just think and again, this is the problem with like fan expectation. Like, I'm not saying that they had to do this, but like with the way that the show was kind of set up, I thought this was going to be like a way bigger tie-in for like Doctor Strange and shit.
It's not over
but
yet.
like,
me too.
Right. Which
it's the same writer.
But like,
it seems like a
like
what
2
if
episodes.
tie-in, if anything. It is?
I think it's definitely going to tie in, because I can't see Doctor Strange happening unless like this whole time thing kind of breaks down, because it seems like they're the reason that there's no alternate reality things.
my only thing is what happens after
they've been
this
literally
show?
pruning them.
I think the thing that
Like to Loki or just in general?
What If?
right,
Like I think What If is the one that's next
Oh,
up
is
on the
it? What
docket,
If?
and that's there are the leaks. Remember about the Guardians of the Multiverse. But I think to Luke's point, it's that they're being very, very, very slow at getting to the weird shit. Because like Marvel Cosmic is absolutely butt fucking insane.
And I mean,
like Ultimates 2 is one of my favorite comics of all time, and like what's his name?
Very underrated. By the
Galactus
way.
becomes good.
Very underrated.
Yeah,
right,
Ultimates
Galactus,
2.
it's
the
an
light
amazing
bringer.
book. Even with the Civil War 2 bullshit, like Galactus becomes good.
It's a sleeper hit. It's great.
Eternity like fights other people like they're galactic. It's like Gurren Lagann's ending. They're galaxy-sized battles between concepts.
Yeah, and
like Eternity and Death meet and shit. It's or Eternity and Infinity.
yeah, and
It's absurd, but it's like Kevin Feige's just working him up to it because it's like, look, I can't just throw like a living tribunal at him. Is there anything before?
And
that?
I'm not
It's like,
saying that you have to do that, but like
timekeepers.
well,
well,
Even with like the alien designs too,
I'm not shocked.
It's not even like Star Trek.
I'm not
level.
shocked that the timekeepers.
It's not that out
I'm
there.
not shocked that the timekeepers were a red herring because I suspected that. However, I will say, and the reason why I suspected it is because the timekeepers have only showed up in the 60 years of Marvel history. They've showed up in 39 issues. So
yeah.
I'm not.
Like,
I'm
They're
not.
from like 2011.
No,
aren't they a recent invention?
No, they're
no,
like
they go back.
yeah,
They go way
pretty
back.
far
They go back to the
Oh,
60s.
okay.
But again, minor characters cosmically, and they decided to make them the forefront of this show. So that led me to think in the beginning that maybe they're fake. But then there was this part of me that really thought about it and said, wait a minute. Marvel has yet to really do anything cosmically that involves cosmic powers that are beyond or nearly beyond human comprehension. And there's a whole pantheon. There's multiple pantheons of those kind of characters in the comics, and we just really haven't seen that in the movies. So I'm sitting here thinking of like, okay, they're probably fake, but I'm hoping that they're not. I'm hoping that they're real. And then when the two Lokis go in the room with them and they start talking, I'm like, oh my god, they're real. Like I actually kind of started to like get excited. I was like, yes, I was wrong. Like actual cosmic entities that are like near beyond our comprehension. I'm excited to see this now. And then she chops one of their heads off and it's a fucking robot. And I'm like, oh, I knew it, but I was mad that I was right about it.
The universe is a simulation, Luke.
I wasn't. I really.
Okay.
I did not mind that the timekeepers were not real. Mostly because they are a very silly concept. And the minute I saw them and their designs were like almost one-to-one with the comics, I was like, okay, these guys aren't real. They're not the villains. Like, it was one of those things where it was like, the closer to accurate you are to the comic, the more I think to myself, like, you are dispensable.
Here's a question, though. Here's a question. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm getting sidetracked here in my head. The show alluded that where they are at, they exist, at least in the comics, the TVA exists outside of the multiverse. The show doesn't necessarily say that, but it also implies that where the TVA is and where the timekeepers are, it also exists outside of the multiverse, and that is why nothing works there. No cosmic cube works, no Tesseract works, none of the Infinity Stones work, magic doesn't work there. It's because anything that's tied to any particular universe doesn't work outside of said universe. And that's how the mechanics of everything works, and that's how the mechanics of like energy and time and space-time works in the comics. And they just sort of alluded to that in the show. But now we learned that, well, fuck, the timekeepers aren't real. So where are they? That's the question now, is like, what actually is going on? Why aren't the Infinity Stones working? Like, I need an explanation as to the mechanics of how this is working.
Luke,
why doesn't magic work where they're at?
Timeline, player.
I'm going to make a big brain prediction. I am fairly certain a variant of Loki is the main villain of the show.
Another one. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
They could go big,
and
so like this is where we start playing with fire with ideas, because every bone in my body, at least like the comic nerd in me, like all of this actually screams Kang the Conqueror. But I don't think that this is it. Like
I don't think
my comic instincts are like, there is nobody else that would be doing this right now other than Kang. And I know that they plan to make Kang is such a major villain in the comics that there's no way they would just introduce him as a fucking one-off and kill him in Ant-Man 3 of all fucking things. So I'm thinking,
I'm really scared he will be, though.
I hope not.
I hope not, but
son,
there's a part of me that wants to that is thinking inside that Kang might actually be pulling the strings here, because they would hopefully want to introduce him now before Ant-Man 3. Because my God, not only is Ant-Man 3, I mean, hardly anybody gives a fuck about the Ant-Man franchise, and 2, nobody knows who the fuck Kang the Conqueror is. So, and it's sad. I wish that the Ant-Man movies were different and better than what they are, but we got what we got. So it perplexes me.
Kang is comedy in itself.
I don't know. I just feel like we're expecting this to matter more than it will.
You know,
this just has Kang written all over it.
The interesting thing,
I'm just saying. But I know. But here's the thing. I know that they're not going to invest in Kang in the show. And you're right. I think you're right. It's probably something dumb, like it's just another fucking Tom Hiddleston being like, he's like another another Loki variant.
It'll be the Matt Damon Loki from.
And I also, like one of the things that kind of bothers me about Sylvia in the show is that she's neither Lady Loki, she's not Sylvia from, neither is she really Sylvia from the comics, neither is she really Enchantress from the comics. She's kind of this weird, like, goopy amalgamation of all three.
Loki.
Right, but she's not like Lady Loki, which is what everyone thought she was. But I'm like, no, she's blonde. That's not Lady Loki. And turns out next episode, she's not. She's not Lady Loki.
She dyed her hair.
Right, she's a female version of Loki, but she's not Lady Loki, which I know it sounds confusing to people, but she's not really Lady Loki. She's not really Enchantress either. Because when they started floating around the word enchanted, and she's blonde, everyone on the internet was like, "Oh, it's probably like Enchantress."
Remember when they thought the blonde in WandaVision was Enchantress?
Yeah, I know. So stupid.
Aaron, you were saying something.
Oh, I was gonna say.
I'm sorry.
No, good.
I went on a tangent.
I was gonna say that as we're talking about this show, there's a lot of talk about like King the Conqueror and like the cosmic stuff, and I realized that Loki is typically a character that's tied to Thor, right? Like, but yet there's outside of the Lady Sif stuff, and then mentioning the mom, this has been a show very far removed from the mythology of Thor and Asgard and all that stuff. And it's interesting because this show is a show about time travel and investigation and all that stuff, but it's a show that could work if a different character was it as well, like the show isn't Loki specific. It's just, they just chose the show. They just chose Loki as the character because he seems the most mischievous and whatnot. But like this could be like the time variant show, but with Doctor Strange, or the time variant show with Wanda, and different variations of that. And I think the whole not knowing if you can trust the main character thing is what makes it interesting. But the fact that if you would take all of the Loki aspects out of it and have the TVA stuff, you could replace this and be a different story, or be a similar story.
Right.
I think my other thing too is just I think Loki. I was expecting Loki versus the TVA for the most part, and it kind of is that. But I was expecting like Loki was going to be the bad guy. Like we were good. Our main point of view character was going to be Avengers 1 Loki, who is a dick, and that's not really what we're getting. Like I don't know.
It feels more like Ragnarok Loki. Like he seemed to have learned his lessons really fast in this, and that's just not the Loki from Avengers.
Yeah, he just transforms in the first episode back into Ragnarok Loki, and kind of like what Aaron was talking about too. Yeah. It feels weird because like it doesn't really feel like this version of Loki should be acting this way, or should be, he humble.
He grew
I guess
exceptionally fast watching his life.
Yeah. The Sif scene, like, it's really good character stuff. Like, for sure, I really like that Sif scene
It was
too,
a nice surprise, actually.
Yeah, like, it's really cool character stuff, but like
me.
I feel like it takes away a lot, because I really thought like a big pull of the show was going to be like it's a cat and mouse game where they're trying to find Loki and Loki's like fucking stuff up. Isn't there that one still where like Loki's running for president? Like, where is that?
Probably the next episode.
Oh, yeah.
I'm assuming in one of the next episodes, but like, where's the room for that? Like, we only have 30 minutes for stuff.
I guarantee you he's wearing that because he's running to be the leader of the other variants in that weird world he got spit out in.
Okay. With Loki
a
dial.
planet of variant Lokis. Sounds hilarious. Loki.
We can't forget Black Thor.
No, Black Loki.
Yeah, that's always the one weird thing I have, where it's like, really, there's only one Black Loki in the multiverse? Like,
yeah, and that's why I couldn't tell. I'm like, is that a Black Thor or a Black Loki? Because he has the hammer.
I'm assuming
honestly that looked more like the
he has the Loki
that looked
crest.
more like
right, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to make of.
Then.
I really don't know what to make of that post-credit scene. I really don't.
I mean, we'll have to find out next week.
It was fun. I mean, it was fun seeing it.
The episode.
I just wish that there was more stuff
bored.
like that throughout the whole show.
Yeah, there was so much potential for them to do really crazy shit that they couldn't get away with on any other show, and I feel like it's kind of a missed opportunity.
I don't know, I think the dialogue.
Maybe it'll pop up in the last.
I think the dialogue, Owen Wilson being there as well, and just the two of them together really makes the show. Interestingly enough, did you guys know?
I do like Owen Wilson's character.
Did you guys know the writer modeled Owen Mobius in the show after Tom Hanks in the 90s? So like, yeah, really? To be Tom Hanks.
That would make sense. Yeah.
Huh.
That would make sense.
That's funny.
They should have got Tom Hanks to play that role.
Imagine Tom Hanks as Mobius.
I've read
They would have blown their budget.
Oh, they really?
They would have blown their budget.
I'm just gonna say I've read a lot of things where people are like, "Oh, they wasted Owen Wilson." I think that this is the perfect thing for Owen Wilson.
I don't want to say
I really like
really
this character.
Good, actually, in the show.
I really like this character. Yeah.
No, I don't.
I really like Mobius.
I think Owen Wilson's
I really
great
hope
in
it's
the
not
show.
the end of
it.
Like, I really
I do
hope
too.
We see him
probably
again after the show.
I hope not either.
Oh, also, did you guys hear the first?
I was shocked.
When Mobius was talking, we got that shout out to vampires, which is pretty dope.
Yeah, my friend kind of popped off on that because he's a big Blade fan.
Oh, gotcha. What'd he say?
Like, he was just like, "Oh shit, they're setting it up," and I was like, "All right, calm down. They're it's not like this is all planned in
Relax,
advance.
buddy.
That's why we got fucking bullshit stuff."
That's like the Doctor Strange.
I'm just saying it was a nice little shout.
Oh yeah, that's like this show's equivalent of when Winter Soldier shout out Doctor Strange for the first time.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange bringing vampires into the MCU sounds fucking hilarious.
That would be great. I'm super down for it.
But
the
I
one
will
thing,
say, because like Loki.
Oh no, go on. I'm sorry. I was just gonna say stupid shit man
just...
thing.
What's the next show to come out after Loki?
What If?
What If? I think.
Yeah. What If?
Okay, live action.
Probably.
Is it
Hawkeye?
live action?
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye or
okay.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Hawkeye, and then.
Okay, based off
I think
Loki.
Hawkeye's done already. So
right.
I think it's Hawkeye then Miss Marvel.
Yeah, based off Captain America, I'm actually really excited about Hawkeye.
Yeah, I mean it's a different team entirely.
I'm certainly interested.
This is based
in Hawkeye.
This is based on Matt Fraction's run, isn't it?
Yes, so that's why I'm also
that was a really good run.
That's amazing.
But how do they? I'm interesting how they fused the Matt Fraction run while also establishing. I'm curious how they do the Matt Fraction run with the Hawkeye we've seen in the MCU. Because obviously they're very different Hawkeyes.
Yeah, it'll be...
Yeah, because he has like a family. How'd he get to the city?
He lives on a farm.
It's a good point.
That'd be my
He lives on a
farm. He lives on a farm in the middle of nowhere. Scraps! But no, like, thinking about the show, I think I realized what it was. So, like, of the live action show so far, Loki's actually my least favorite. And because what I said, Loki is a character that I'm very indifferent to. And I think I realized what it was. With the other two shows, I actually could feel like there was a character that I could kind of feel some connection with, and even as much as I enjoy Mobius and really like Owen Wilson's performance, especially in the first episode, I think it was really strong. I don't really feel much connect to any of the characters, and that's not saying that they're not acting their asses off or anything. It's just like when I'm watching it, I'm not like when I was watching, Falcon and Winter Soldier, I'm like getting amped up because I'm like understanding where Sam's coming from. I can understand like the issues struggling with like grief and shit that like Wanda's going through, and even relating to like frustration that like Monica might have had. But I'm just not. I don't think I'm really connecting to any of the characters, which I think it's probably why it's like
I don't think
for me.
The show has like the emotional. I don't think the show has the emotional engagement or intrigue, but I think it has the familiarity and the mystery aspects. Because we all know Loki.
I think,
we've known him for years, and we don't know any shit about the TVA, and it's very much a fish out of the water kind of mystery about what's going on.
Right.
And they got, I think the other thing too is
thick ass girl Ruby from Lovecraft Country.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the other thing too is just like we don't really get the time to really really linger on those emotional things, right? Because like I think that there's some really cool stuff they're doing with Loki, with like him recognizing self-worth and all that, but like we don't really get the time to focus on that.
What did you guys think of the scene of them trying to define love to one another?
Yeah.
Like Loki's trying to figure out what love means.
It's weird.
You said awkward.
It's a little.
I think
it's a little weird.
It would have been more effective if they like came to a conclusion, but it remained ambiguous. Which maybe that's more of a. Maybe that's telling something about the characters, where neither one of them has really experienced, like a good love or a connective love. Side note: Do we need to bring up that stupid bullshit thing of people getting like confused about Loki being agender? Because Disney big corpo is like, oh yeah, Loki did, he has multiple lovers, and it's like, bitch, it's from the mythology. Who cares?
Yeah, Loki fucked a horse, by the way.
He's anybody?
I think it caused a bit of a stink just because Disney confirmed it. There's always the five homophobes left in America.
On that note,
See,
guys, I gotta get going.
Yeah, man, we'll catch you.
All right, man.
Yeah,
Sounds
man, we'll
good.
Catch you later. Just
all right, you guys have a good night.
Send me the sounds, brother.
Will do.
All right, man, have a good one.
I was just gonna say, like in typical Disney fashion, it's like a very one-off kind of statement, and then it's never really explored. So
yeah,
like
make Tom Hiddleston kiss a nigga on the lips. Have him kiss Mobius.
Have him kiss the Black Loki.
That's a
kiss Black Loki. Do it, bitch.
It's
kiss Lil Nas X.
I feel like. I don't know. I feel like Loki and Mobius is a lot less awkward than fucking Loki and himself.
Here's the thing. I don't have a problem with Loki fucking himself for two reasons.
Yeah, I don't either. That makes entire sense to me. The minute they were on the train.
I guess it fits in character. I just was kind of. It was one of those.
We can accept a robot.
It was one of those things where it was just
and a witch. We can accept a man fucking himself.
It's not even the logistics of it. It's just weird to just put that into the show. Like I don't know. Like
it makes sense with him being a narcissist that the person he would find. I guess
get that,
it's like self-love in the most literal sense.
I understand that. I feel like it doesn't
self-flagellation, Luke.
It doesn't get developed a lot, so that when it drops on me, I'm like, it's kind of weird.
But the thing is, if we can get deeper for a second,
that's fair.
Is it really him?
Deeper.
Though? Is it? It's a version of himself, but she was taken as a child. She doesn't have the same life events that formed her as a person that he did. So, are they really the same person? Like.
Aaron, I'm going to ask you a very simple question. If you met another version of yourself and it was a woman, would you fuck her?
I don't know. I'm pretty attractive. I don't shit.
Might slow him down a little bit.
Maybe, shit.
Might slow him down a little bit.
There you go. There you go. Case closed.
Yeah.
It's weird. I don't know.
Filter face?
Fuck yourself.
Fuck yourself. No, I get what you're saying, Luke. It's just like the time between it is literally an episode. It's like, oh my god, you're in love with yourself. I'm like, I mean, that makes sense, but yeah, I get what you're saying. It's like they didn't like their character development in episode 3 wasn't Like, unless you've been on Tumblr really long and you infer 2 people in a box, is like, oh, well, they're gonna fuck, clearly.
I mean this in the nicest way
it's-
possible. Loki is a show made for Tumblr.
Oh, it's over.
Yes, it's their king next to Sherlock Holmes,
Yeah.
who's now Doctor Strange. Like he's their king, you know. Of course, it's part of the reason I had issues with Loki because his fandom was just the
Are they
absolute
still as
fucking
active
worst.
as they were in 2012?
I had
feel
to
they
get
haven't
over
been
my
out
bias.
in the drones like they used to be.
They're a little quieter now.
Let's
since
put
his
it this
neck got
way.
Like,
snapped
even
by
with his
the
own
thing
show, they
Reddit.
still
If it
quiet.
wasn't for those, I'm just saying, if it wasn't
Yeah, they're a
for
little
those fans,
quieter now.
I guarantee we would not have this show.
Wait, say it again.
I
If
absolutely agree
it
with
wasn't
you.
for his fans being as outspoken as they were, we probably wouldn't
No,
have
but
this
I think
show.
it's definitely worth it. I don't know. I think the thing that makes this one the most interesting is because it's a Loki show. It's the first one we've done about a villain. There's no telling
Yeah.
how it's going to end. Like you could probably guess with Falcon and Winter Soldier and with WandaVision that they're both Avengers. They're most likely going to end
Yeah.
up fighting the bad guy. But this nigga is the bad guy. So who does he fight then?
Right. Yeah. Like
Man,
they
I'm
have
just
to come
praying
back
that
for.
they don't.
Cop out and make him a hero?
I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying I hope they don't bring him back for like Thor 4 because that would irritate the shit out of me. I don't want an alternate universe version of Loki. Like, surprise, he's back. It's like I don't
he's coming
like.
back for
I think
Thor
he's
We
coming
can
back.
let some things
Yeah.
stay gone. Like Tony Stark.
Thor's coming back.
leave-
I mean,
leave his
Loki's
ass to
coming
the
back.
raft.
Will's not.
you can't have a Thor movie without Loki. I mean,
Hey, come on. What are
He's
you,
in every
crazy?
one.
What are you talking about? Fucking, might as well cancel the whole thing.
oh
And he's gone.
man, Will
Oh,
dropped
shit.
out. Damn. All right,
Least-
I'm still
I'm
recording,
also
but
still recording.
well, because like with the other things, like they have to come back for Avengers movies. Loki doesn't really have to come back for
Loki's
anything
dead.
besides Thor 4.
Like,
So
they can risk it all.
Yeah,
they can do whatever the
exactly.
fuck they
Yeah,
want.
I want him
Yeah.
to stay dead.
And honestly,
But
based
I
on
don't want
this,
him to
I
come
kind of want
back.
to see other villain shows. So part of me is even thinking like it would be really cool if we get a little, U.S. agent show.
I wouldn't mind that. I think he would kill it.
I'd watch a
I'm
U.S.
trying to
agent
think
show.
what other,
Yeah, I think so too.
what
And I
other
mean,
villains would there be, or could there be?
who's still alive is the real question.
I would not be mad at it. We would. This would never happen. But I would not be
You
mad. at,
want an
like, if they
Abomination
were to do,
show?
like something else with the TVA, but it's like it's Thanos. Get the
Thanos and the
big,
TV.
big chin
God.
variants.
Honestly, that would be pretty funny.
That'd be
actually,
so expensive.
Wait,
It
are
would
you
be
able
the
to
most
hear me?
expensive show on earth. Jesus.
they say, "Oh, we'll help you to blend in with everyone around us," and
I'm
they just
still ba-
fucking press a button, and it's just Josh
Right,
Brolin.
I'm still baffled that they're
whole
doing the
show.
fucking Hulk show, the She-Hulk show. I'm like, that's gonna be an expensive ass show. To Mark Ruffalo and what's her name, who's playing She-Hulk? Tatiana Maslany. All CGI for
Tatiana
fucking 6 to
Maslany.
10 episodes.
Yeah,
My God.
yeah.
The good thing is those are only 30 minutes, so again, they don't have to. I don't think they have to go crazy, and it's also like a.
Wait, did
what's
they
up?
say it was only 30 minutes?
Well,
I think so. That's what I remember.
Yeah, 30.
Oh.
It's gonna be 10 episodes, 30 minutes. The She-Hulk's
Right.
gonna be a half-hour
Oh,
comedy.
okay.
Which is weird. It's going to be a half-hour comedy starring the Hulk, starring Hulk, She-Hulk, and featuring Abomination. I'm like, what the fuck? You know,
I'm
Do we
happy about
wanna
that.
Use that to
just because.
springboard into the next topic.
Oh yeah, sure. I didn't want to take up too much time with it.
I mean, what were you gonna say?
I like She-Hulk a lot. That's why.
Any last thoughts with Loki?
I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. I'm definitely curious. I'm definitely just as curious as I'm curious, but not as like obsessed, I suppose, about this.
Yeah.
As WandaVision, like the mystery isn't like a cultural phenomenon. Like WandaVision was like had the same global engagement or societal engagement as like Hamilton did. I mean, I don't feel like either of the other Disney shows have done that. They haven't taken over pop culture like that.
Yeah. And honestly, that was also to its detriment because every fucking week was is this the episode where Mephisto comes?
Right. Watch it. This actually is the thing where he comes. Like, wow.
Oh my god,
Watch him show up in
Mephisto's the
fucking
fucking
Blade
villain
or
of
something,
Loki.
and he just gets
Mephisto v Loki.
he shows up in Blade and just gets killed in the last episode. Like, yeah, that's right. A black man beat the devil.
Honestly, at this point, I'd be fine with that. Fuck Mephisto at this point. I don't care anymore.
Fuck Mephisto.
I like Mephisto.
The Columbus of Marvel films.
Yeah, fucking out there, Luke fucking convulsed because I know he really likes Mephisto.
Oh, does he?
Well, no, like Mephisto's actually cool, but it's at this point like I don't care anymore.
Yeah, the one below all is cooler. He literally gave Hulk his powers, and he's just a green green demon devil.
We'll get there someday. Someday.
We'll get there someday. Well, speaking of green demon devils, we got a new trailer for Shang-Chi.
Oh yeah, I watched that.
That barely works.
I'm mad that I watched it though. I'm not gonna lie.
Did y'all see?
Yeah,
oh really?
Bro.
Wait, why are you mad you watched it?
Bro, I don't want to know the fucking Abomination's gonna be in the movie. I don't want to see Wong in the movie. The fuck? Why would you tell me that in the trailer?
Oh,
why the fuck would you spoil that for me?
Oh, that is true. I don't know. That's such an oddly like specific thing to spoil. I'll be like, oh, guess who's back? Abomination.
Like, nobody asked for the name, but like,
comic
damn,
actor.
I would like to be surprised.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, it's just like, but he's here now.
I don't know why they do that. I don't know why they do that in their fucking trailers. Because, like, I guarantee you nobody fucking remembers who Abomination is.
We do.
At least, like...
Nobody asked.
Yeah, like, we do, but...
You know who asked? Nobody.
Well, I mean, I asked, but... I'm saying...
Okay.
I don't
the lone
know...
Hulk fan.
Yeah, I don't know who's cutting these trailers, but, like, this seems to be a trend with, like... Seems to be a trend with Marvel more than anything. Like, they just fucking tell you the whole goddamn movie in, like, the trailer.
I think it's especially the ones that they're scared that nobody's gonna go see.
What?
They're like, oh, is it gonna be interesting enough for people?
Oh, maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
So that must be what it is. But it's like, nah, man, don't worry about Shang-Chi. Worry about fucking Eternals. That's the one that people are gonna fucking skip. It's like, no, Chloe Zhao has an Oscar. It's like, so it looks mid.
I will say this.
It looks very.
This trailer made me more excited than the last one.
Oh, I can agree with that.
Yeah.
I think the first one didn't really give me a big handle on like what the fight scenes were going to look like, because like that's the biggest prerequisite for Shang-Chi movie, if the fights are cool. This one, it actually seemed like there's some cool stuff going on. Like the bus fight seems like there's a lot more going on with it.
And the one with the beams, the one in the building with like the neon.
Yeah, that too.
Even the fight with Mandarin. You know, and what there's, I think it's interesting that they turned the 10 rings into like literal bands rings, which I'm like, well, that makes it harder to, well, first of all, it makes it not like the damn Infinity Gauntlet, which is, I'm sure, what they had to figure out first. But I think it's creative because, you know, if you just chop off a hand, you chop his hands off, the fight's over. But his arms, it's a little trickier to hit, trickier to slice. Like go through bone and shit and cartilage. Got to get through that muscle fiber.
You're thinking a lot of logistics for what's essentially going to be
because a lot more blood flow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just you're thinking of a lot of logistics for something that's just going to push stuff away. Like that seems to be their only power. They just push stuff.
It's like the Flash. He pushes stuff out the way really quickly.
There you go. That seems to be it.
I don't know. Do we have a lot of? I'm surprised at how many people were like, "Oh my God, it's the Abomination," and I was more like, "Huh." Okay, I was more like, perplexed.
I wasn't excited or anything. I was like, "Oh, really?"
Yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't excited. I was.
They gave him his fins.
Yeah, it's just like.
Did y'all see that?
Yeah, they gave him his fins.
Yeah, he's got his fins and his fish lips.
He was a baby Abomination in the first Hulk movie. He had to grow his fins in.
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, now he's all grown up.
Yeah, which I'm just like, you know, having Abomination evolve. Having Abomination evolve between movies absolutely makes sense. It's like, well, why does he look different? How did he evolve? I'm like, because people grow and change.
People grow and change.
He's gamma radiation.
Can't just be kids all the time.
There are no rules.
You gotta grow up. You gotta be a man.
Hulk's gonna turn from Tatiana Maslany to China.
Fucking Hulk fucking turned from like this big muscled rage monster to like the kid that's waiting for his turn on Xbox.
Has anybody
down to the like.
Before I say what I'm going to say, has anybody seen or plan on seeing Fast 9? Because I'm going to spoil something real quick.
I have not seen a Fast movie since the first.
It's not a plot thing. It's like
I have not seen a Fast movie, nor do I care. Okay, Fast 9 spoilers. Go ahead.
So okay, what was the previous thing we were just saying? To add context, what I'm going to say.
About what?
About growing up, being a man.
Yeah, She-Hulk.
Yeah, growing up.
Like if Obama could, not Obama, Obamanation.
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 Oh, no.
Wait a minute, you might have did something there. The biggest, blackest man, the Obamanation.
Need to make a photo edit stat. Need to get that trending on Twitter.
One of us has to. That might be the title.
Abomination. I'm with it.
You might have just made the title.
But if Cardi B can show up in Fast 5, Marvel can do whatever the fuck they want.
Wait. She was in Fast 9.
Cardi B
Fast
had a
5?
cameo in Fast 9. It was the most random, out of field fucking cameo.
Damn. I haven't seen her in a movie since she was in Hustlers for
she
all
was
5
really
minutes.
bad.
Holy shit.
What, in 9 or in
Yes.
Hustlers?
No, she was
just
bad in Fast 9.
Yes.
Because do you guys care about the context of it?
She was good at the BET Awards where she was pregnant.
No, what's the context?
No, not at what is
Can you hear me?
fucking Vin Diesel about to put out some bars with the Migos?
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hello?
I can't
We
hear
can
you
hear you.
guys.
Damn.
Uh-oh.
You can't hear us.
Damn. The river got
I wanted to hear fucking about Cardi B, damn it.
I did too.
God damn it.
You know, well, I guess while we're talking about Cardi B, she's pregnant with her second child, and she came out ripping and a rapping.
I can't hear you. Oh no.
Damn.
You can hear us? Did we lose him?
This is exactly what you want.
I wanted to hear about what Cardi B did in Fast 9.
I did too. We should type in the chat. We can't hear him.
Oh my. Yeah.
Anyway, I guess we just keep going with.
You have any?
You put we can hear you.
Yeah. Did you have any Shang-Chi thoughts?
Shit.
I mean, just I'm more excited for it. The first teaser I wasn't really super into, but I like the way I'm not saying the combat. Fucking the fight scenes look. The fight scenes look cool.
Well, it is funny that you mentioned combat because it does share one of its writers with Mortal Kombat.
Oh, does it? Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I don't know how to feel. Like if you look up his filmography, I'm like, boy, this is some hits and misses.
Did we ever talk about Mortal Kombat?
Like, I think I did. Did we? I feel like we did.
We might have.
Give some shotgun thoughts about Mortal Kombat.
Shotgun thoughts? Sucked.
Yeah.
Not good.
I enjoyed it.
I mean, it's fine. Just
But it also technically wasn't Mortal Kombat.
You're right. Technically, it wasn't.
It wasn't. What is it? Like Legend of Scorpion's getting a movie. That is news, I guess. I suppose.
Oh,
or what was the animated one? Scorpion's Revenge is getting a sequel.
Right. Yeah, the Battle for the Realms or whatever they're calling it, which I guess is Mortal Kombat 2. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd assume. It's battling for the no, Luke. We're just going straight to 9, straight to the reboot.
Straight to
Start
reboot.
from scratch.
Well, I mean, they fucking skip over everything all the time. Like they just go to fucking 3 and Annihilation or whatever it was.
Oh my god.
I don't think 2 even has a story. Now that I think about it,
I can't hear you guys.
I don't remember the fucking story for 2.
What is it? Violence.
It's just fucking another Mortal Kombat tournament. They were really upset that they lost. There you go.
Sad face. There's 2 bits of micro news I just wanted to kind of blitz through before we talk about E3, before that falls out of any sort of
testing.
Okay.
I'm probably gonna skip the DC stuff for maybe a future episode.
Okay.
We're getting an Exorcist remake from Blumhouse.
Yay. It's what we needed.
That's the appropriate reaction.
It's what we needed.
Yeah. So do with that what you will. But in much more exciting news, Transformers 7 officially has a title from director Stephen Caple Jr. and I guess writer Lorenzo D. Bonaventura. Boy, that's a hell of a name. It is titled Transformers: Rise of the Beast.
Yeah. Beast Wars, baby.
Hell yeah, Beast Wars. It'll be set in 1994. Its central characters are based in Brooklyn, and the feature will move between New York and Machu Picchu. All this is from Deadline. Our main hero on the side of the Transformers will once again be Optimus Prime. But Rise of the Beast will also look to expand the big screen world of Transformers beyond the familiar. One of those breeds referenced in the title is known as Beast Wars. The different alien robot tribes. In their disguise, they take on animal form. So in our film, there are these prehistoric animals that travel through time and space, and we find them here on Earth.
Yeah, that's Beast Wars.
In the upcoming film,
Beast Wars.
We'll see the Beast War robots go to war with their natural enemies, the Predacons. The Terracons will present another new threat. Saving the world will be left up to the Autobots and the Maximals. Oh boy, this
I'm so fucking excited. Beast Wars is awesome.
Hey,
it's so
back.
fucking stupid.
Back,
It's
baby.
so
Is he
stupid.
back? He might be back. The Predacons in our film are more reptilian in nature. We've seen a few in other Transformers films that we don't count. But we get to see another side of them. It's all about building a backstory to these characters, and we'll see that more on the Predacon and Terracon side. You're going to see villains you've never seen before, Autobots you've never seen, elements we've never done. One of the driving decisions along the way is, have we done that before? Whether that's an action scene or a character. It's a good way to make a Transformers movie. And it's like, what have we done? Let's not do that. And so, have you seen In the Heights or Judas and the Black Messiah?
I saw In the Heights. I didn't see Judas.
So Anthony Ramos from In the Heights, he played the lead character in that, is the lead in in the movie, as well as Dominic Fishback, who is in Judas and the Black Messiah.
I gotcha.
He says, I'm playing an intelligent artifact researcher who works at a museum. Oh, that's Fishback, my bad. She's trying to get a leg up in life, but her boss keeps taking credit for the work she's done, so she's trying to move out on her own. And then Ramos's character, Noah, is a military vet who lives in Brooklyn with his family, because of course, serving as a father figure of sorts for his brother. He's all about taking care of the people he loves. He comes from a lower income home, just like In the Heights, so Noah's always hustling. Noah is, quote, amazing with electronics. So he's like a Puerto Rican Santa.
This is
this
is the next Transformers movie.
The one thing I love about Noah is his tenacity and his heart, and his will to never quit, in spite of all the crazy things life is throwing at him, like giant robot cyber tigers.
So wait, guys, can you hear me?
Then it's amazing to see his journey when we venture out into the world, when the humans meet bots and things start to happen. That's the best description for a Transformers movie. Humans meet bots and things start to happen.
Shit, I was talking this whole time and I was like, can these niggas hear me? But so wait.
Oh shit! What were you saying?
Movie?
We were talking about Transformers.
Yeah.
Rise of the Beasts. Rise of the Beast is Transformers 7. We've been talking about that, and wait a minute. I think we got a confirmation of who's coming. First of all, movie comes out June 24th, 2022.
Yeah.
And let's see, during the Paramount virtual event, Capel and DeBonaventura also touched on a wide range of Transformers appearing, and they shared early designs of Mirage, RC, Nightbird, Air Razor, Rhinox, Optimus Primal, and the ruthless and scary Terracon leader known as Scourge, and a new off-road Camaro version of Bumblebee.
So
I really hope Waspinator is in this.
Waspinator.
I need Waspinator.
Yeah, so I'm using my laptop right now,
Man.
my MacBook, and half the time when I talk,
Okay.
the I don't want to say her name because she's gonna activate, but she'll start like saying some stuff, and I'm like, no,
The shoddy.
like not. It's the Sear
Be quiet, thought.
Searby. No, I didn't call you. Oh, damn it. She activated.
Alicia.
There we go.
She acted.
Because she's gonna activate if I say
Oh
her
my
name.
god.
Goddamn.
I got you. But yeah, I mean, what do we? You know what? This may actually make me go back and watch Bumblebee just because this is it. You know, I heard that Bumblebee had a lot of heart, and this seems to kind of be keeping with that of just being like, look, guys, it's a movie about giant robot animals coming to Earth and throwing paws.
Yeah, dude, Bumblebee's really good.
We got some decent actors. We got a. Yeah, it's like it's about the heart. That's what makes movies like this work. You know, Power Rangers, that works because it's like they got a lot of heart. You know, it's not about not just. I mean, also you want cool shit, but the heart. Behind it. But what do we think about Rise of the Beasts?
I am fucking pumped. Beast Wars is the best. It is the dumbest, and I love it. I'm really fucking.
So who's behind the movie?
Stephen Caple Jr., who did Creed 2, I believe, and the producer Lorenzo de Bonaventura is one of the producers. But yeah, I know. I remember Stephen Caple Jr. because I think he did Creed 2, which I thought was fucking great. So you know, he also did I think The Land. Yeah,
I didn't see that one.
And I think he has another movie coming out. Yeah, well, he's from Cleveland. Who's he? Cleveland black guy. But he's the one movie I've seen of him, he seems like a very competent, capable director. I'm surprised they didn't get Travis Knight back actually. From Bumblebee. He's also directed 2 episodes of Grownish. Yeah, I love how if you go to his Wikipedia for it, it's just like, you know, production assistant, these short films and everything. Then his first movie, The Land. Then Grownish. Then it's like Creed 2, Transformers, Rise of the Beast. There's no consistency whatsoever.
It's all over the place.
Versatile.
It's like, what'd you do? It's like I made Transformers.
And I'm about to make a really good fucking animal robot movie.
Who's doing the writing on this? We got.
I hope it's really
Josh Peters and Darnell Matire. That's a black man for their story by Joby Harold. So he did. That's interesting. That is a list. So the guy that did the story, he did Awake in 2007. A conspiracy movie with Hayden Christensen and Jessica Alba. That's a lot. And Terrence Howard. God, I feel like we've talked about this. He also did King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, and Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead. But he's also done Underground for WGN, the one about the Underground Railroad, Spinning Out for Netflix, and he will be working on Obi-Wan Kenobi. All right. That's who's handling the story for. I don't know what to. That's
it's the story, right?
Yeah,
like
he's
not
the writer. He's just
writing,
the
like the script, the screenwriter.
Yeah, he's not the screenwriter. He's just the story guy.
Okay, that I can handle that. That's fine.
I think I'm on the same page as you, Luke. It's just like it's like different from Fast, where like Fast is like knowingly stupid. But Transformers, it's like it's childish, and that's what makes it fun. You know?
Yeah, like
it's simple. It's a simple concept. It's hard to fuck up, but somehow they did it.
Yeah, like the fucking premise for this movie is literally there are other Transformers. They turn into animals. They have their whole fucking feud. Let's go.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's it.
That's it.
Like that's fucking. Again, I must reiterate. I really like Transformers. Beast Wars is fucking awesome. This is best case scenario for me. I never thought they were going to do Beast Wars.
I don't think anyone did.
I thought they were just going to stick these things in. I thought they were just going to stick them in like fucking another sequel. Like, oh, here's a fucking Predacon, whatever. Like, it's a little Easter egg. But no, they're actually getting their own fucking movie. It's really cool.
Especially with how they tarnished Grimlock, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Grimlock. So, like, Dinobots are different, right?
Yeah. they're different than
I like
Beast Wars,
Grimlock a
but
lot.
Still, it's just fucking up the Dinobots. Just like is one of those things that concerned me in the past.
In general, yeah, I get you.
Like it's a hard thing to mess up. They're robots that turn to dinosaurs,
they really
but somehow
did fuck 'em
I don't
over.
know. This is looking kind of promising. The cast is solid and interesting. A bunch of mechanical animals running through New York is Avengers level energy.
It really is actually.
Yeah, so I don't know. Here's what'll happen if we get, because it comes out June of next year. If we get a trailer and it looks good, I'll go back and watch Bumblebee, because I heard nothing but positive. Like I saw the trailer and I'm like, this actually looks good, but like
you should do that regardless because it's fire.
But I stopped after 2, and I just casually kept up with the Transformers franchise afterwards. Cause I'm like, boy, how bad can it get? Worse. But now it makes me, it kind of
got pretty fucking bad.
Yeah, but it gives me hope, because I'm like, well, maybe one day I can get a Unicron movie. Or did they try to? Did they fuck him up already?
If this does well,
probably.
Yeah, if this does well, you will get a Unicron movie. I think.
I feel like they did Unicron in one of them.
That or they tried. Maybe it was Dark.
He was in the fucking. No, Unicron was in the fucking King Arthur one, wasn't it?
No.
Oh,
I never saw that. I stopped. The last.
I didn't see it either. I remember hearing that Unicron's in
the
that
last
one.
Bayformers movie I watched. The last one I watched was Mark Ruffalo. Not Mark. Mark. What's his name?
Oh God. Oh, Mark. Not Mark McGrath.
Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg. We called him Mark McGrath. Jesus Christ.
Mark McGrath. Who is that? A country singer? Mark McGrath?
No, Mark McGrath was like a '90s. He was a TV personality, but he was like in a rock band or something. What fucking band was he in? He was in Scooby Doo.
What? He was in Scooby Doo. That's the most obscure reference. Mark McGrath.
He was in Sugar Ray. No, Mark McGrath was in Sugar Ray, and Sugar Ray was in Scooby Doo. Remember that band that played in the live-action Scooby Doo movie with like the frosted tips and shit? Do you remember the Scooby?
Very 2000s.
Yeah, that was that. He was in
remember.
Yes, go back and watch Scooby Doo. That's who Mark McGrath is. God. But you were saying the last one you saw was Mark Wahlberg. Jesus.
It was Mark Wahlberg has a crazy action scene, and then he crashes into a Buzz Light truck or Buzzweiser truck, and then
Buzzweiser.
Someone's like, "Hey, he was like, "Hey, you can't be here," and he cracks a Buzzweiser open from the truck, and then he says something about like America or some shit like that. I'm like, okay, I'm done here. I was like, you're gonna crack open a truck? Like that was the most blatant advertisement shit I've ever seen in a movie, hands down. Like you literally had this man bust open a cold beer and then drink it for the consumption of America.
Is there anything you want to leave us with, Luke? Before you exit into the void, or is he already gone? He might have disappeared. Then there
no, he's ghost. He's going ghost.
He's going ghost.
Shit.
Oh, he's already gone. We lost him. But yeah, I mean, I'm actually interested and excited for this. Well, the last thing we were going to talk about was E3, and Luke wanted to just let us know that he's super pumped about Kazuya being in Smash. Aaron, did you follow E3 a couple weeks back?
Small things here and there. I know that they had the Guardians of the Galaxy game.
God, that fucking.
I can't remember anything else right now.
Let me see if I can.
It's not great.
It looks like the Avengers game, which I thought it was. I thought it was Avengers DLC, and they're like, no, it's its own game. I'm like, oh, that
is it by the same people?
Yes, actually, it's Square Enix.
No, oh god, that makes sense.
Yeah,
they got the same team behind it.
Yeah, which like, and what's funny is like, well, we wanted to take more from the comics. I'm like, half of these shits look just like the MCU. What are you talking about? More from the comics? That's just a lie. Right. Yeah, I saw a couple of the panels. Let me see if I can find the games list because they had a bunch of different announcements. I did have one that I was really excited for. Was there anything that you were like looking forward to, or
Looking forward to from E3?
yeah?
I don't know. Like maybe I'll play that Guardians game, but I'm trying to think of the other stuff that there was. I don't know. I didn't pay too much attention this year. What about?
We got. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I didn't pay too much attention this year. I was gonna say what stuff really got you hyped?
Shin Megami Tensei 5 was literally the only reason I watched. Any of E3, let alone the Nintendo one. The Nintendo one, I'll actually say was pretty good. It makes me actually want to get a Switch. They announced Metroid 5, and that looks good. SMT 5.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for that.
Yeah, it looks fucking gorgeous. Breath of the Wild 2 has some solid gameplay.
Gorgeous.
I know I think they showed a trailer for Battlefield 2042. What else did they show? What else did they have? We did get Guardians. We're getting an Evil Dead game.
Oh, really? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, if it's legit. Far Cry 6 got a trailer as well as a season pass, so that the gameplay on that actually looked pretty good. Final Fantasy Origins, Stranger of Paradise. A lot of people had some issues with that. Team Ninja's doing a Final Fantasy game. It's about, I think it's a Final Fantasy prequel. And it's about chaos. What else? Halo Infinite multiplayer. Apparently Hideo Kojima has a new game coming. Jurassic World Evolution 2, which I'm just like, it's a park simulator. How do you need a sequel
Jurassic
for that?
World had a game?
But apparently the JW fandom is very excited. Life is Strange 3 is coming out, and I don't care, but I'm like they're lingering on this trailer for a long time. Yeah, we talked about Guardians of the Galaxy. Is it the same people? Oh yeah, well let's talk about that for a second actually with the Guardians game. How do you feel about it being single player?
I think that's kind of lame and kind of limiting that it's only Star-Lord. Because we just got for the four people who played it, right. Ultimate Alliance 3 on the Switch, and playing as the different Guardians is really cool. It's one of the favorite parts of the game. So to limit it to only Star-Lord, you have a game called the Guardians of the Galaxy about an ensemble, and you can only play as one character. I feel like that's pretty lame. But knowing how video game companies work, they'll probably make the other characters playable in like a DLC or something.
Which would also be its own kind of hot cross bullshit.
Definitely.
Yeah.
The hottest of crosses.
Exactly. So I'm just like, oh boy. Look at that. Something that less incentive. And they showed gameplay for like 20 minutes. And it's like, you don't have to do. It's like, because it comes out, I think, in October. I guess they're really trying to put their best foot forward. But I'm like, hey, my man, I don't care.
You done, son. You don't need to do all that. It's already you're already done.
I think the worst one, at least for me, of the ones I saw was Capcom. That shit was cheeks. Goodness. It was hot ass. You weren't in the chat, but I was like, bruh, this shit was garbage. It was all additions and information about games that we already knew about. It was nothing new. It was like, I think the only new thing is they announced an Ace Attorney collection. So for all the Ace Attorney fans, that's good news. But it's like RE8 DLC is in the works. Monster Hunter Stories 2 is coming out. Monster Hunter Rise is getting some like DLC and some added story stuff. And then like some fighting game shit that like no one particularly cared about. They got like Outer Worlds 2. Psychonauts 2 look good. Rainbow Six Extraction. We're getting a Rocksmith Plus.
Oh really?
Jack Sparrow's coming to Sea of Thieves. Sifu actually looked pretty good. The Kung Fu Brawler of what I saw for it. Let's see, was there anything else of interest? Waiting for more news about Tales of Arise. Oh shit, that comes out soon. That comes out in September. Vampire the Masquerade 2. It's going into closed alpha tomorrow. So that'll be interesting. The gameplay looks solid. Watch Dogs Legion Bloodline. So DLC for Watch Dogs Legion. Warhammer 40k. And that, I think, is it. I don't know. It felt kind of underwhelming this year. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, no, I didn't hear too many people talking about it. So I was figured that with not too many people talking about it this year, at least in my circles and whatnot, then it must not have been a great year for it. Like, but I feel like that's been a lot of stuff since COVID.
Yeah.
Like Comic-Con wasn't really much. All these other award shows, like, shit, I missed the Oscars. How do you know what happened?
I think we all did. I think it happened, and I'm just like, oh shit, the Oscars were today? Oh. And they were like record lows this year too, I think. Like it was worse than last year, if I recall.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, last year I think it happened pre-COVID. Because it's like, what, February? Was it February?
I think it was March. Wait.
Oh. Well, yeah. Either way, I didn't watch it. So.
Let's see. Wait.
Yeah.
Let's see. When was the Oscars in 2020? It was with what the internet says. Oh no, you're right. It was February. It was February 9th. So yeah. So it went down. Like it was already down last year before COVID. Now mid COVID, it was just it did rough. I know I didn't know what was going on. Same thing with the Grammys. I'm like, oh shit, the Grammys are happening.
I didn't really catch the Grammys either.
Nope.
It's just all of these shows, all of these like award show or like announcement type events since COVID is weird because it's virtual. No one really cares about the virtual stuff because there's something missing when you're not doing like these live events. You know, when you're not having the crowds there screaming and then the live like fuck ups or whatever, the moments that come from live production.
Which, like, the BET Awards happened, I think, over the weekend, and people were talking about that. I mean, there's a fair amount to talk about. There is some interesting and funny shit. It's like, Lil Nas X kissed a nigga on stage. I'm like, uh-oh, the heteros are going to be upset about this.
Oh, did he really? I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, he did.
Bro, I'm so out the loop. Like,
Good.
I don't have social media. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening in the world.
Kim Kardashian has a furry car.
Really?
Yeah, that's no conjecture. There's no hyperbole there. Just Google Kim Kardashian furry car. Be careful of what results you get from that. But yeah, she has a car that has an all fur exterior.
Wow, that's that fuck you on rich money right there.
Yeah, I think it's like also partially sponsored. I told somebody that today, and they're just like, "No, she doesn't." I'm like, "Look it up," and he's like, "Oh my god."
That's a horrible investment. What are you gonna do when it rains? Just gonna get your furry car all soggy and shit.
I mean, you think she's driving that shit anywhere?
She's probably rich enough to have a garage. You're right. She just has it as a novelty. It's a paperweight.
Exactly. Literally drive that shit over. You're like, I need to keep my documents down. Roll out the furry car. Bring me the sheet mobile.
Fur car.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I think that's primarily it for topic. Like, there's some other stuff, but we can talk about it like another time. It's not super pertinent. We got Suicide Squad teaser. We got some Flash BTS, and then we got some bullshit Supernatural news. But nothing too crazy. I don't know, man. Was there anything that you wanted to talk about or promote before we get out of here and ski-daddle?
Massage guns are great. I got one recently. Changed my fucking life.
Are they good?
Yeah, dude. Oh, hell yeah. I got it from Amazon. It's a worthy investment.
How much
also, did you know, mine was like $80. Mine was like $80. But I was going to hear, did you hear Quentin Tarantino on Joe Rogan's podcast?
No, my friends have been sending me clips. I haven't stopped to look. What did he do? What happened?
Oh my god, this man's wild.
Fetish shit. I mean,
no, it wasn't. No, he's not Dan Snyder. None of that happened.
No, Quentin Tarantino is definitely in defeat. We know that, but like,
oh yeah. So yeah, they'd probably be good friends. No, so essentially, so him and Joe Rogan started having a conversation about Bruce Lee, and there's a whole controversy about his representation of Bruce Lee and stuff. So then once they went down that rabbit hole, he just doubled down like on everything. And he didn't apologize for like the misrepresentation. He doubled down. It's like, yeah, like my guy tricked him. The guy I created tricked him. And if they were in a jungle setting, he would have killed him. And then he was talking about how his wife lied that he didn't create kung fu. Like, no, he so that show Warrior, that new one that came out, apparently it was Bruce Lee's original idea. But according to his wife, that they stole it and made kung fu. So he's like, I'm not saying I hate the family. I'm just saying she's a fucking liar.
He called her a liar with the fucking Warrior.
He called Bruce Lee's wife a liar. Yeah.
Because that's a common story. That's almost like common knowledge at this point. That kung fu was based off the idea that he had for Warrior that got like flipped and taken. Which they have a remake of Kung Fu airing right now on CW.
Oh really? I didn't know that. But he's essentially saying that Bruce Lee didn't come up with that idea because he could barely speak English and they didn't want to have him as the lead. And then he's also said it because in like the remake or the sequel movie or something, that his son was actually playing opposite the main character. Like Bruce Lee's son.
Yeah, Brandon.
Yeah, so he was just very convicted. Yeah, Brandon. He's very much in his way, like double down about the fact. And then it's funny because
that does not shock
Joe
me.
Rogan challenged his Joe Rogan challenged his perspective. He was like, "Would you ever consider maybe Bruce Lee lied to his wife?" And he was like, "No, she wrote the fucking thing. She has to be accountable. She wrote it. Like, not even."
I love how you can hear the gears turn and then just hit reverse. Like, no, double down, Quentin, double down.
Right, you gotta watch the clip. Like, it needs to be a GIF. It was so funny.
Oh my
He was just
God.
like so offended, not offended, but he was like, I feel backed into a corner, so I have to face this cognitive dissonance of my views being challenged. I have to back it up.
Lean into it.
It was really bad. Yeah. So I thought that was entertaining, and that was probably the biggest thing I saw recently.
I think I actually. Oh, what I saw recently. I saw Train to Busan. Have you seen it?
I have seen that one. I saw that over COVID.
Son, that shit is so good. God damn.
It was a great movie.
I'm so mad that mad that it like just hit Hulu. I'm like, I've been asleep because I heard about it for a long time, and I'm like, well, that's an interesting premise. Zombies on a train. This is so good. It's just good. It's just
and the way they portray the zombies, and you really feel the peril for these people. Like, it made me care about all of them. And I really sucked that the dad died.
Yeah, and like the smartest guy in that movie was the thick husband.
Right. He was cool. He's a cool dude.
He was the smartest one in that movie because the minute somebody tried to bite him, he grabbed him by the throat. It's like, the fuck you doing?
Right. Man, it really made me want to watch more movies.
It really makes me. So I spent the weekend kind of around a lot of Korean culture, and so for some reason it was weird because like I got home, I had a rough morning kind of that bit because like my car had died and shit, so I had to jump it back up, and that was a whole process. Luckily, I wasn't far from home, but I got back. And I turned on, the streamers, and I'm just like, I was flipping around, and I was about to watch My Hero Academia, and I'm like, nah, man, I want to watch something dubbed. I want to watch something in English. And then I saw Train to Busan, and just clicked it. I'm like, well, that didn't come true. I just switched to a different country. But no, Train to Busan is really good. I watched that. I watched the WeWork documentary, which is a fascinating deep dive into a country that somehow finessed its way into $47 billion and then crashed because it was essentially just like overstated, what's it called? Real estate service, that tried to masquerade as like a tech company for the betterment of mankind. It was crazy. It's like that. It's a movie called Parallel on Prime that you should check out. It's about like people using technology from alternate dimensions to make themselves rich. It's kind of nuts.
Oh.
Really interesting premise, but it's a shame that the budget was as cheap as it was because it kind of shows, except for one really cool effect at the end.
Ooh, you know, it has had a profound impact on me lately, creatively. Mm-hmm. Did you end up ever watching Bo Burnham's Inside?
Oh my God! Wait, are you still You're still recording, right?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, yeah. You know what? We can talk about that. I have been listening to Inside. I watched it, I want to say 2 weeks ago. It's weird because like I've heard other, like, my best friend, he's like, it's good, but it's just like I wasn't in love with it. I loved Inside.
I'm in love with that whole special. I've listened to the music every day.
So have I. Inside is actually interesting for me perspective wise because I actually didn't get burnout from the pandemic up until March of this year. So like watching Inside really made me understand what everyone else was feeling. The song I actually connected the most was with Turning 30. Oddly enough.
Really?
Yeah, it gave me like a minor existential crisis. I'm like, oh fuck. It's like 4.5 years away. That is not far.
Yeah.
I was talking to my therapist. I'm like, Jesus Christ, that's terrifying.
Right. That's a huge milestone.
It is, but like, yeah, let's talk about Inside because Bo Burnham has one of the most fascinating, I think, career trajectories of the more younger age millennials.
Definitely.
with him being about 4 or 5 years our senior, because he showed, he just turned 30. He's not that old. And like I remember Bo starting on YouTube at the beginning, of just being a teenager playing a piano in his room and just, I put Bo Burnham on shuffle when I was like after I listened to the album a couple times, and I was surprised at how much I could like remember and how funny it was. But if you go back and listen to his old stuff and listen to Inside, you can tell there's a shift.
Yeah, you can tell it's the same guy, but he's like evolved and has a different mindset. Like he's a little more mature. Yeah. More reflective about the state of the world as opposed to cynically making jokes about it. He's still making jokes, but it's coming from a different place.
Like the way in which his creativity is expressed is very like I think it was which is also on Netflix, was the one where he had the We Think We Know You one where he was like flipping through different audio tracks. So like I think Bo was really, really creative when he was young, and not to say that he isn't now. Like what he does to make the videos for these is insane,
especially knowing but it's by himself. He wrote the lyrics, he composed and produced the beats to the songs, he filmed it and edited it all by himself. That's insane. That's so inspiring.
From a creative standpoint, it's oh my God, it's such an undertaking. It's overwhelming almost.
Did you ever watch 8th Grade?
No, I've been meaning to. How was it? I heard it was solid. I heard it was good.
It was very good. I think it's interesting seeing Bo Burnham's marriage. He married the performer and the film director into one thing with this special. And it's a bit of a mess, but it also follows, like, the only consistent narrative that I could tell was happening was the fact that it was this man trying to maintain his motivation to film a special that he didn't know how it was going to end, but also while trying to maintain his sanity.
Right.
So it's like by the time I think especially the first time I watched it, that hit hard was like right after the song where he's like, I turned 30, and then it's the message of him like saying don't kill yourself, and then it cuts to that inside of the even further in time bow where he like just looks so ready to end it all. I was like, whoa, that was nuts.
I will say, so here's, and this is entirely unintentional, but there's like that he had no control over how this would have shook out. But there's a meta joke that occurs. There's a meta joke that occurs from inside that's connected all the way back to like Bo Bo or some shit, one of his earlier albums. So on his song Ironic, you know, he's paralleling all of these like hilarious different ironic scenarios. But then one of his lines is like, I can't grow a beard. That's not ironic. That is just sad. And I freaked out. Because in this special, he has a beard.
Right,
and I'm like,
right.
And I'm just like, okay, you could... I know you didn't think that, but it's like, looking back, that's fucking hilarious. Like, it makes it somehow funnier, and you didn't even mean to do it.
Right, and he grows a pretty good one, too. He grows like a gnarly fucking beard.
It's a gnarly beard. Yeah, I don't know. I think just from an artistic standpoint, it's kind of absurd as an undertaking, because it's not something that you see very often from creators. So as an undertaking, I respect it alone, you know.
I will say I think it's my favorite special of his, but I also think it might be his least funny special, which isn't necessarily a diss to the special, but it's very much... I find some of the songs I find funny, but weirdly enough, you know what, the one that went from making me laugh to like almost crying to laughing again? Fucking White Girl's Instagram.
I listened to that one because that one, I don't know why. Is it because of the end part where
it's like, a great song?
It is a great song, but like so here's the thing that I think is interesting is about Bo's evolution with humor. And I think it's also kind of a little bit reflective of like generationally what a lot of younger millennials did humor wise, where you used to do the like lol so random, oh this is clever, like, because if you think about where he started in YouTube, it was like what, early 2010s. Like the landscape of comedy was very different.
He started in 2006,
right? And so he saw a lot, because I've been on YouTube since 2006, so we've seen the same amount of shit.
Right.
But like the comedic landscape has vastly shifted, and I think in terms of, I think it's, so like his old stuff is like outright haha funny. It's supposed to be funny. This stuff is like a more subtle introspective humor. And that's not to say what makes it like funny or not funny, because it's like, oh, he's making fun of white women on Instagram, or he's making fun of aspects of like what was it? You know, Welcome to the Internet is kind of like a farce about how wacky and zany and sometimes terrifying and intrusive internet culture can be.
You know what I thought? It's interesting listening to Welcome to the Internet, because going back to the kind of meta thing you said earlier about the beard, I feel like going from 2010 to his song Welcome to YouTube to Welcome to the Internet, you just see the evolution of him as an artist. And like, yeah, you remember that song?
Yeah, I do.
So it's one of the ones that like no one really talks about, but it's a funny one. But still, you can go, the place he's coming from has changed, because that one very much feels like a character. Like,
what was
he's playing with the evil internet overlord or whatever.
It's a more I agree with you. It is kind of like a character he's playing of like the evil Mr. Senor Google. What was the one he did with the sock?
Oh, that's how the world works.
Yeah, how the world works. See, like that's something that it's like it's not outwardly. I think here's what it is. The humor of the special is shaped by the cultural context of the internet in which he produced it.
I think it's a combination of that and him feeling like he needed to make content that was adaptable for watching at home. Because if you really watch the special, very few of the songs I feel would work on stage in his more traditional aspect, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like
the
only songs I can see working on stage, especially, I think the only ones I can see working on stage are How the World Works would work on stage.
Yeah. Maybe Welcome to the Internet.
Maybe Welcome to the Internet, definitely. Maybe White Woman's Instagram.
White Woman Instagram.
But I feel like he needed to have I feel like he needs like a slideshow though. But I think the thing that makes the white girl's Instagram so brilliant is the fact that one, not only the lyrics but the imagery that's coupled with it that are like they're so specific to like because you've seen those girls. I'm sure you know some of those girls. That have had those pictures. Yeah, and the cool thing, which why it was it's one of those songs that's catchy, but also kind of like made me feel a little bit, even though I haven't experienced it personally. But the part where he's like, she's talking from the girl's perspective about her mom. Like, I can't believe
that shit.
Been a decade since you've been gone. This is a real thing girls put on their Instagram and Facebook. But if you watch it, you notice how the aspect ratio broadens up because he's like, it's opening up from the filter of what Instagram is and showing a broader, fuller picture of the person. And then as soon as she starts talking about her accomplishments again, it goes back to being the 3:5 ratio, which I thought was really cool, which was something I don't think everybody caught. But that whole real section of the song made me feel.
You reminded me that one time, this wasn't a white woman, but I remember somebody I either follow or used to follow posted a picture of her ass and said, "Rest in peace, grandma." It's like, sis, come on.
Come on, grandma didn't ask for this.
I'm gonna miss you. It's like, grandma didn't. This is what you wanted, not what Abuela wanted for you. It's what I wanted because I'm a pervert. But I was confused. It's like, ma'am. But yeah, like
you may miss grandma, but grandma didn't miss this. Like, grandma said, "Put your ass away."
But no, I think you're right. Is that like that one has kind of that little element of, oh my god, wait, she's actually being vulnerable. Oh, she's being vapid again. Like just the hard cut. I think this one is very much a lot more contextual, like culturally and contextually informed than the others have been. Not saying that they haven't been, but I think Bo's imagination was a lot more free than it was before.
Malik, you here? Okay. Have you seen what? Or have you seen Inside? Yeah.
We were talking Bo. Oh, he's fantastic.
So here's the thing. I want to tell you to watch Inside, but I feel like you'd gain a greater appreciation for it if you saw his other stuff. But
yeah, just watch.
I don't know. I try to show it to my sister, and she's like 17, and she didn't really care for at least what I showed her to her, but she liked Inside. So I feel like if you start with Inside for somebody, I feel like it's harder, especially someone who's like a casual or doesn't know much about Bo Burnham. I think it's harder. Yeah, it's harder to start somebody with Inside and tell them to go back and watch the older stuff, because I feel like they're expecting a certain thing or a certain way, but it's not that. It's very much a live sort of thing. I feel like he's not regressed, but his humor's definitely evolved.
No, Bo is definitely.
Well, if you have like a darker sense of humor and a real sense of humor, you'd probably be into it.
Yeah. What was Very true.
Very true. Will, what were you gonna say?
Oh no, I was basically agreeing with him. I was trying to think of one that looks. I don't know, man. You got any other thoughts on Inside? So I guess we can close it out with that, and then talk to Malik.
Yeah. I think I honestly think that this newest special's finale was probably my favorite out of the three specials we've seen, or the four specials.
That song.
I love both of them. No, I love Farewell is great.
Oh yeah, there's two.
Or
That's right.
Goodbye. Get your fucking hands off.
Weirdly enough, that one actually couldn't be done live.
Could or could not?
Could not.
No, it couldn't. It couldn't be done
like
live.
That's the whole point. Is like the simulation of the experience is like isolating. Like that's like the point.
Wow, yeah, that's so true. It could not be done live. And it's just the pinnacle, the crescendo of him losing his mind, because like he just like grabs the camera and starts shaking it around, like, look at me.
Right.
Like, I'm like, bro, you lost it. But that's the thing. That's the thing about Bo Burnham, because if you go back and watch, what was it, his last special? Like how
I think it was what
each moment is very. Yeah, each moment is very timed and very specific. Like how he had the bit about like dropping the water and then like how the record scratched. And he's like, I meant to do that. Nothing is real. So like, so I'm like, when the first time I watched it, I was like, God, this is real. Like this dude's really like lost it. It is.
Oh man, I'm thinking about
art is a lie. Nothing is real.
It's real. I was thinking about him like walking through the mic stands. It's really awkward.
Yeah.
Or his story about
so like
the frogs. And Roger was arrested for possession of tadpole porn. She's gorgeous, Philip said. She's beautiful, Hank said. Looked a little too old for my taste, Roger said.
Oh yeah.
And like a man that had been shot in the chest by a rifle, the turtle had been shot in the chest by a rifle. Fucking absurd caliber and I'm just like, but that's reflective of the kind of humor we had like at that time.
Right. I don't know if I think it's just funny. I was like, do we find it funny because we hold some sort of nostalgia about it and we thought it was funny when you were younger, or is it just funny because it's good writing? I think it's just funny. I think it's
both. I think it's a little bit of both. I think his imagination is very reflective of the humor of the time, but he's like talented. So it also is just a funny fucking joke. Like it's just funny.
Right. Yeah, no, he's good. He's good at his job, and I feel like he's gone for 5 years. And before Inside came out, I was watching some interviews with him because he was on the H3 podcast, and that was my first time learning about his whole thing with his anxiety and panic attacks. But yeah, he had like 15 of the 16 panic attacks he's ever had in his life on stage. And he's just like he felt like it was a weird experience because he's losing his shit internally. But because his live shows are so meticulous and to the beat, and like every moment is planned, he was still going through the motions of the show, like making sure he's hitting his beats, but inside he was freaking out. And he said it was a weird experience having that freak out, but having the audience not catch on to that and having everybody laugh and be entertained while you're like having the worst time ever.
That's wild.
So I thought that was, right. So him kind of touching about that in All Eyes on Me, which is why he quit comedy for 5 years. Mm-hmm. I was like, yeah, shit, dude. If that was your experience, I don't blame you. Like, please, like, don't come back if that's what's gonna happen. Like, I love watching your stuff, but I want you to be okay as a person.
Right.
So I guess what I was saying earlier was, I don't know how much of it's real and how much of it is performative watching Inside. Because it felt genuine, like when he's like at the end when he's like, I'm not well, and then it does feel genuine, but at the same time he's a great performer. So I'm like, I feel like it's somewhere in the middle. I feel like certain parts of it he capitalized or used what he was feeling to create the stuff, but other aspects you're just seeing him raw. Like, what was one I thought was okay? So when we were talking about like some days I feel a wake up not feeling all right. Like when it starts going to the song, like feel it in my body when it's deep inside and I try not to fight it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Describe it. All right. A few things start to happen. Yeah. I'm not going to get copyrighted or whatever. This is far enough in the video. So I don't think
he sounds just like Bo.
Say anything.
Copyright.
Exactly. Copyright. Sung lyrics. Copyright.
Man, get his ass.
Yeah. Anyway, I loved it. I thought Inside was fantastic, and yeah, I guess those are my closing thoughts on it.
Yeah. I agree. Like when it ended, I'm like, this has got to be at least a contender for like best comedy Grammy because it is good. Yeah, I think that's gonna do it for us this week. I think the only other recommendation I can make is everybody should listen to Chloe Bailey's cover of the Nina Simone song, Feeling Good. I did not I love Chloe and Holly. I did not know that Chloe had the range that she does. Again, beautiful singer, amazingly talented, multi-instrumentalist, very good producer. She hit an octave that's around my range. If you've ever heard her sing. Yeah, that's
no.
what I paused the song and threw my headphones across the room because I didn't believe
it. You gotta send it to me. I need to hear the song now.
I'll send it to you. But with that being said, that's going to be the end of the show for this week. If you'd like to find us, we have an Instagram at Atlas Comics Elite, Atlas Comics Elite, ATLAS Comics Elite on Instagram. Aaron, where can the people find you at, man?
Where can the people find me? Currently on this podcast. I'm off the grid right now. None of my socials are active, so you can't find me anywhere. But you'll find me here.
Yeah,
you'll find me when you need me.
If you want to reach me, if you want to page me, it's okay.
I'm Kim Possible.
Exactly. Luke, you can find him at Quantum X Paradox. Other Luke, you can find him at Luke Alfonso VA. Both those, I think, are their Twitter and one of them Instagram handles. If you're looking for me, your lovely host, you can find me at Will the Greatest on YouTube and Instagram, one with spaces, one without. I post content when I have time at this point. I got movie reviews and shit I need to do. I got a side project I'm working on that is slowly being put together. Lovely cast, so hopefully that shapes up sooner rather than later. I'm missing a very key, important person. But with that being said, we're going to close out the show. If you ever have questions, shoot them to me on my social media. Shoot them to the IG page for the for the show and whatnot. Leave them where you can leave comments. But follow the show, rate the show 5 stars, like the show, share the show, tell your friends about it. And with that being said, we're gonna ski daddle and get out of here and wish you all a good one. We will catch up with you next time.